Do you know that in 1896, an African army defeated a modern European colonial power in one of the most shocking battles of the 19th century? At a time when nearly all of Africa was being divided and conquered by European empires, one African nation stood its ground. Not only did it resist colonization, it defeated a European army on the battlefield. That nation was Ethiopia, and the man who led that victory was Emperor Menelik II. This is the incredible story of the Battle of Adwa, the battle that changed African history forever. By the late 1800s, European powers were racing to conquer Africa. Historians call this period the Scramble for Africa. Countries like Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, and Portugal were claiming vast territories across the continent. The goal was simple: control land, extract resources, and expand imperial power. By 1890, almost the entire continent had fallen under European rule, but one nation remained independent: Ethiopia. Located in the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia had a long history of powerful kingdoms and strong military traditions. And in the late 19th century, it was ruled by one of the most strategic leaders Africa had ever seen: Menelik II. Menelik II became Emperor of Ethiopia in 1889. But his story began long before that. Born in 1844, Menelik was originally the king of Shewa, one of Ethiopia's most important regions. He was known for his intelligence, patience, and political skill. Instead of isolating Ethiopia, Menelik did something unusual for an African ruler at the time. He modernized. He bought modern rifles from Europe. He built diplomatic relationships with foreign powers. He strengthened Ethiopia's military. And most importantly, he united Ethiopia's different regions and ethnic groups into a powerful national force. Menelik understood something many leaders did not. European colonization was coming, and Ethiopia had to prepare. While Britain and France controlled large parts of Africa, Italy was a newer colonial power. Italy wanted an empire. They already controlled Eritrea on the Red Sea coast, but they wanted more. They wanted Ethiopia. In 1889, Italy signed a treaty with Menelik called the Treaty of Wuchale. But there was a problem. The treaty had two versions, one written in Italian, one written in Amharic, and they did not say the same thing. The Italian version claimed that Ethiopia had become a protectorate of Italy, meaning Ethiopia would be under Italian control in foreign affairs. But the Amharic version simply said Ethiopia could use Italy for diplomatic support if it wished. Menelik quickly realized the deception, and he rejected the treaty. Italy, however, refused to accept this. They declared that Ethiopia was now part of the Italian Empire. Menelik had only one response: prepare for war. In 1895, Emperor Menelik II issued a call across Ethiopia. Every province, every chief, every warrior, Menelik called on them to defend the independence of their nation. And something extraordinary happened. Ethiopia united. Warriors came from every region: Tigray, Oromo, Amhara, Gurage, Somali, Afar. Menelik's wife, Empress Tetu, also played a major role. She helped organize logistics and encourage resistance against Italy. Within months, Ethiopia had mobilized an enormous army. Estimates say between 80,000 and 120,000 soldiers gathered. Many were armed with modern rifles purchased from Europe and Russia. Others carried spears, swords, and shields. But what they lacked in uniform equipment, they made up for in determination. They were fighting for their homeland. Italy underestimated Ethiopia. Italian generals believed that African armies could not match European military power. The Italian commander, General Oreste Baratieri, led around 17,000 soldiers. Many were Italian troops, Others were colonial soldiers from Eritrea known as Askari. The Italians believed the Ethiopians were poorly organized. They expected a quick victory, but they were wrong. Menelik's army was larger, better prepared, and highly motivated. The stage was set for one of the most important battles in African history. The battle took place on the 1st of March 1896, near the town of Adwa in northern Ethiopia. The Italian army made a fatal mistake. They marched at night across difficult mountain terrain. Their forces became separated. Instead of one coordinated army, they were divided into several isolated columns. Menelik saw the opportunity. Ethiopian scouts reported the Italian positions. Menelik ordered a massive attack. Thousands of Ethiopian warriors moved through the mountains. They surrounded the Italian forces. One by one, the Italian divisions were overwhelmed. The Ethiopian army charged with rifles, swords, and spears. The fighting was intense. Italian artillery fired desperately, but the Ethiopian numbers were too great. By midday, the Italian army collapsed. Thousands were killed. Thousands more were captured. It was a devastating defeat. Part 7. A victory that shocked the world. The result shocked Europe. No African army had defeated a European colonial army on such a scale before. Italy lost around 7,000 soldiers. Thousands more were wounded or captured. Ethiopian casualties were also heavy, but the victory was clear. Italy was forced to sign the Treaty of Addis Ababa. This treaty officially recognized Ethiopia as an independent nation. Ethiopia had done what few believed possible. It had stopped colonization. The Battle of Adwa became a symbol of African resistance. Across the world, people of African descent celebrated the victory. For colonized Africans, it proved something powerful. European empires were not invincible. Adwa inspired anti-colonial movements for decades. Leaders and activists often spoke of Ethiopia as a beacon of African pride and independence. Even in the Caribbean and the United States, Black intellectuals praised Menelik's victory. Ethiopia became a symbol of freedom. After the victory, Menelik II continued modernizing Ethiopia. He expanded infrastructure. He introduced new technologies. He founded Addis Ababa as the capital. He built roads and telegraph lines. Menelik's leadership helped Ethiopia remain independent during the height of European imperialism. Though Italy later invaded Ethiopia again in 1935 under Mussolini, the memory of Adwa never disappeared. It remained a reminder that African nations could resist colonial domination. Today, the Battle of Adwa is remembered as one of the greatest victories in African history. It represents courage, unity, and determination. Menelik II proved that leadership, strategy, and national unity could overcome even powerful imperial forces. At a time when Africa was being divided among European empires, Ethiopia stood tall. And on the mountains of Adwa, an African army changed the course of history. So the next time someone asks if any African army ever defeated a European empire during the age of colonialism, tell them about Adwa, tell them about Ethiopia, and tell them about Emperor Menelik II, the leader who proved that Africa could fight back. And this is one of the stories they never told you about Africa.